Rachel in Kiev, Ukraine. Hey, Rachel, what's on your mind today?
Oh, hey, yeah, it's been a while. Actually, your the book segment you had from Hannah Arendt's work was actually just fitting into this perfectly. People may or may not know today and tomorrow are the 76th anniversary of the Babi Yar massacre here in Kiev, where Nazis and local collaborators slaughtered close to 100, maybe 150,000 people, including almost every single Jew in the city, and basically and just threw all the bodies into a giant ravine. And I don't know how well that it gets covered in
Whoa.
in history classes in the States and elsewhere, but
Yeah, I'd never heard of it. That's
yeah,
amazing.
it's actually even based on in Soviet history and when it was a current event,
Yeah.
was kind of kept off the radar. And I don't know if maybe I'm just stretching in terms of what like Nazi style fascism is this the logical conclusion? And I don't know, thinking about how many in this part of history can these kind of things be, I don't know, scalable by time and place, or is there a never again? Or
Yeah, those are all really good questions, Rachel. It seems to me that it's a fairly straightforward formula that when a government, regardless of the type of government it is, whether it calls itself a democracy or a kingdom or whatever, when a government decides that there are types there are people and types of speech that are not acceptable, political speech, and they go about trying to ban or shame or destroy that they have started down a course that inevitably leads to totalitarianism. I mean, it's the only direction it can go, and it very rarely pulls back. And, that's certainly what Hitler did in 33, 34, when they shut down all the newspapers and banned dissent, essentially. We've seen this in totalitarian regimes around the world. And so, in terms of whether these things will happen again, I mean, all over the world, there are governments right now that are trying to crack down on dissent and discussion and whatnot. And so I suspect that this is not going to be the last massacre that we see. But it was called the Babi Yar, Babiyar massacre.
I mean, yeah, it's like I think it's in Ukrainian Babi Yar, in Russian Babi Yar, and I think there's other versions of in Yiddish, German, etc. But I guess just because Yar refers to the ravine that they, or actually it's referred. The name of the incident is named after the name of the place where everyone was just lined up and primarily just gunned down with machine guns. And again, the usual, I guess, what you hear about in so many other Nazi stories, of they have postings in Russian, Ukrainian, and Yiddish telling people, arrive at this location all people of Jewish background, please arrive at this location at this time, bring your valuables, the usual, suggesting that they're relocating to a safer place instead of just being, wiped out and having anything and everything that they owned just confiscated.
Yeah,
so.
It's just astonishing the level of human brutality that humans are capable of. It really is. Today is also tonight at sundown is the beginning of Yom Kippur, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. So I'm part Jewish, and I totally did not even remember that. I'm terrible.
I'm pretty sure it is.